My name's Hannah.
I'm Jessica.
And my name is Maddie.
And we're the Magic Management Squad. For our questions, okay, what's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Mine's pho.
I think my favorite food is Mexican food of any type.
Yes. Okay, what's your zodiac sign?
I'm an Aries.
I'm a Sagittarius.
I'm a Cancer.
Where would you travel if money was not an object?
Italy.
Australia.
Probably Spain.
What's your favorite class that you have taken at UNW?
Probably acting.
Really?
Yeah.
I took that class.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. Mine's design principles.
I think my favorite class that I've taken is either voice and body movement or principles of, what's it called? Professional identity practice.
Oh, yeah.
What skill would you like to master?
I would love to play an instrument. Probably the cello.
Ooh,
Yeah.
cello.
Cello.
I'd like to draw. I'd like to be good at drawing.
I think I'd like to be really good at cooking.
Yeah.
Okay, so for this exercise, it didn't have a name. It was just like the paper game. And you take, so in a group of 3, you have like 2 people, so I'm gonna use you 2, and then me, I'm just like here, but I help you. And the object is to put as many pieces of paper between you, but you each have to be touching a piece of paper. And you have to yeah, okay, cool. And you have to it can only be one piece of paper, and you both have to be touching it. I think that's most of the rules.
We have to find different ways.
Yeah, so your hand on hand can be one, and then just do as many as you can in 30 seconds.
Oh, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to move the paper and then do it? Or do we have to
Yeah, you can move the paper as long as at the end of the 30 seconds you have
a certain
as
number of
as many. And then we have to do a prediction. So how many do you think you'll be able to get?
Probably 5.
Yeah, I said 5 too. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna set a timer. 30 seconds. That is 30 minutes.
Here we go.
Okay. When does this paper start? Go. Just tell me if you like that. If you need me to put it somewhere.
Yeah, the one. Just do arms.
No.
Can we ooh? Oh, look at us doing. I know.
All right.
Oh,
Time.
I got 6!
We got 6.
6.
Can we
And
drop
we
this?
exceeded. Yeah.
We can drop it. And we exceeded.
We exceeded our expectations.
Okay, so this exercise is called Common Thread, and it's basically where you have everyone in the group talk about 5 things that we potentially have in common with each other, and then we talk about the stereotypes that are associated with those things. And the goal of the exercise is to build connections between the team members, and also just get to know each other better. So, yeah.
Most obvious is that we're all women.
We are all women, true.
Yes.
Yes.
Lots of stereotypes of that.
Bad driving.
Bad driving, which I've never been in a car wreck. So
Higher
ones.
emotions.
higher
Yes.
emotions.
I don't know. What other?
We can all cook, and you just said in the last thing that you wish you could cook
Yeah,
better.
true.
So
Yeah.
always true. Love that.
Well, since we're in a management class, we might
Yeah.
mention that people often don't think that women make good leaders.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's good.
Another thing we have in common is the arts.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are all arts administration minors, which is cool that we found each other in this class because there's not many of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But artists and people who work within the arts, a lot of times there are misconceptions about where money comes from
Yeah.
in arts industries. So there's a lot of times that people will think that artists and administrators and stage managers and all the people that work around the arts are financially unstable, constantly struggling to find work, which isn't necessarily true. It can be depending on what you're doing, but I think also a big one is that people think that artists are crazy.
Crazy and
Or-
lazy because they're like, oh, that's the easy way out. But like if they ever actually took an art class, they would be like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
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 That's
It takes a lot of work. It's just
Yeah.
not traditional work.
Yeah, people think it's a hobby instead of a job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what else?
Do you guys like dogs?
Yes. I love dogs. We all love dogs. Misconception, we hate cats. Not true. I also have 3 cats.
I love cats.
So no bias here for dogs. No.
I think another thing about like dog people is that, I don't know, I think that there's kind of a stereotype of dog people being more laid back than cat people and
Yeah.
more like go with the flow
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I love dogs. I love all animals. What about pineapple on pizza?
I'm not a fan of pineapple in general.
That's not a similarity then.
Yeah, ooh.
It's just a texture. It's just a texture thing.
I understand. Okay.
We have in common that we are all young
Yeah.
college students.
There's a lot of
Millennials,
stereotypes.
Mhm.
people think that millennials are lazy and constantly
Entitled.
looking for the easy way out and things and entitled and I hope that's not true. But I don't
Yeah.
think it is,
A lot
but
of I always hear Gen X people be like, "Oh, you guys have had everything handed to you," and I wish that was true.
Yeah.
Oh my
We do
gosh,
not.
I can recognize my privilege of certain areas, but being a millennial is not always one, and that's
well, I think that a big part of it is just that I know that a lot of the opportunities that I've had and things that I've been able to do have been because of my parents and what they've supported me with and stuff. But I don't know, all of the millennials that I know are working their butts off and not really getting much reward from it. So so it's a struggle, but
yeah.
I like it,
Yeah. I
It's
like
a good
it
time
too.
to be alive, I
I'm
guess.
proud to be a millennial. So.
Yeah.
One more.
One more.
Where are we from? Are we all from Virginia?
I was born in Kentucky, but
that's interesting.
I grew up in Virginia, so.
Okay. Well, we're all from the South,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah. Where in Virginia are you guys from?
Lynchburg.
We're from Warrenton.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
My boyfriend's from generally.
Oh, yeah.
You know Sterling, right?
Yeah, I know. I know Sterling.
So being from the South, I'm from Lynchburg, Virginia, which is south. Is the most southern place in Virginia that I've ever met anyone that goes to UMW from. And we are home of Liberty University. And if you're from Lynchburg, you are coined as a Christian liberal because of that university. And I can tell you I'm very far from that. So that stereotype was actually really hard for me to get away from. And I worked really hard to get away from it because it's just so negative in Lynchburg. So that's a big thing about being specifically from where I'm from in the South, but I don't know about your experiences with being from the South.
Yeah, I mean, I from Kentucky, where I was born. like I didn't even know that there was any other religion except Catholicism.
Yeah.
I had never met a Jewish person before. Had never met really anybody who wasn't white or black before. And it was like very weird going to Arlington and being in a much more diverse public school. But I'm so glad that I did when I was like really little and not when I was older and had a lot of like, you know, misconceptions kind of ingrained. But that being said, like there was still a lot of sort of like dated views and stuff that I had to get away from even within my family that were definitely products of being raised in Kentucky and stuff. So yeah, I kind of get that.
Yeah.
I grew up in like rural Virginia, like northern Virginia, so it was a little different than Hannah, but there was still that that notion of Christians and the different views, and if you didn't go to church on Sunday, you were like an outsider, and like if you were Democrat, you like didn't belong there, and which was like tough for me because most of my family is Democrat, so
Yeah.
we would be like the one person in our neighborhood with Democrat signs instead of like on the street. And it was,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so that was like one notion.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about our fears of group work. All right. Okay. The first one is not finding enough time to meet.
I think we got lucky because there's only 3 of us.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier for us to meet. But
And also,
yeah.
Yeah,
also
that's
like
We live together, but
yeah, it's pretty simple.
It is kind of hard though because Jessica and I both work in the theater department and scheduling is really tricky for that because you only get the schedule a day in advance.
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of like figure out times to meet, but I think we've come up with a good solution for like a weekly meeting time. So.
Yeah.
And we're really comfortable with communicating with each other, so like that makes it really easy.
Okay. Not knowing enough about the content of the work.
So for me,
I was like,
management is a very new experience because
Yeah.
like all of my classes besides like my gen eds have been in the arts. So like it's hard for me to use the quote unquote logical side of my brain sometimes because
Yeah.
I'm so used to using the creative side.
Mhm.
And like I'm not saying that you can't use your creative side of your brain in management, but like it's definitely different.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that also just like being a leader and managing other people is something that I never really thought
Yeah.
I would be doing just because I've been kind of a follower for most of my life. So taking on like leadership positions and actually have to learn how to manage a group of people is kind of scary.
But I think like the solution is just like keeping each other on track, which I think we've done a good job of so far. Not distributing work evenly. Another fear of mine as well.
Yeah.
But we like have come up with like blog post ideas and like we've already talked about the way that we want to distribute work. That was like one of the first things we talked about. So I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're on a good track for that.
Yeah, because like in past experience with group work, it always gets to the point of like, well, you'll just take care of this part,
Yeah.
and then the next project that comes along, someone else will just take up most of it. But I think we definitely
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
discussion of that.
I'm not really worried about that at this point.
Yeah.
Not communicating.
Again, kind of the same thing. Like it's easy. It's definitely easier for us because we have text messaging and group chats and stuff. So like if we ever need like anytime, any place, like we have that opportunity to like ask each other stuff.
For sure.
I mean, even before we were in groups, like Maddie had texted me and was like, "Hey, like, do you understand this part of the syllabus?" And I was like, "No, but let's figure it out." So
Yeah.
like that was already like a good step in communications.
Yeah.
But my group won't get along with
me/each other.
Oh, well, I don't think that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like each other.
I thoroughly like both of you, so
Yeah.
like, it's fine.
Yeah, and I think we've all worked with each other in some sort,
Yeah.
like in a different class, that we know how to work with each other and can bring that. And we're all very understanding people
Yes.
too, so.
We're just trying to get through this.
Yeah.
My team members won't contribute as much as me. Yeah, again, the same thing. It is like, I think that's a fear for any group work ever.
Yeah.
And like, just like communicating it, like being there.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I really hope Deanna just goes. Walks in.
This is our phone group in class. She just is here for fun. Yeah.
Okay, so after filming our, what did we film? What is the last thing we filmed?
The challenges? Or the
Yeah,
challenges?
the two. Okay, after our team building exercises, we ran out of time because we all had things to do, so now we're back. We're gonna talk a little bit about our goals because we don't have a lot, but we want to keep the goals that we have, like they're of a high priority.
Yes, sure. All right, so our first goal is to always have our group work done a day in advance. So because most of the assignments would be done on Saturdays, to have it done by Friday. And this is because, you know, like most people, we all have pretty busy schedules, so we don't want to be putting things off until Saturday morning / early afternoon, so that we're stressed for time and it's just a mess. So we want to make sure that we are doing things far enough in advance that we can make sure that we're doing our best work.
Our second goal is equal leadership / distribution of effort, and we kind of talked about this when we talked about our fears, which was the last thing that we filmed, and it just popped into my head, but it's okay. So equal leadership / distribution of effort, we want to make sure that everyone is doing the same amount of work and also like helping each other with whatever work we're doing. So like, even if someone takes the lead on a certain assignment or what have you, like that we're all there and doing the same amount. Like you can still be a leader and have like the same amount of work as everyone else. It's just like putting in the effort and stuff.
And just making sure that our other team members aren't like overwhelmed.
Yeah, that too, because that can happen.
And our last goal is to apply what we learned in this course with our arts admin minor, because we're all arts admin minors. So arts is a strong suit in this group, and we feel very confident in that section of that. So what we learn in this class will apply to strengthen us.
And that's something specific in our group, which is why we included it, because it's definitely what we want to take away from this class. We don't want to just learn it and never use it again, hopefully. Okay, so for our individual roles, we again did it very specifically to like what our strong suits are, as well as like what we enjoy, because like we didn't want to stick anyone with a job that they or a role that they didn't like, because I don't think it would be as enjoyable. So my role is I'm going to be responsible for help with digital communication. And when we say that, I mean like anything like editing videos, because I know we have to do a couple videos throughout the semester. That's my strong suit, so I'm like proud to do that. Or if anyone ever needs help with like blog posts or anything, like if you were to go to the DKC and get help, I can pretty much help you with anything like that. I don't work there, but I wish I did. I do work at the Writing Center, but I like editing more. Like editing videos more than I like editing copy, so yeah.
So we decided that my job would be to just to have the responsibility of editing the writing that we submit as a group. I am a strong writer, and I definitely have an eye for written communication. So anything that we submit that is written as a group will be reviewed by me for grammar and conciseness and everything. So.
And my role is to make sure, is to keep everyone on their deadline and time management, because that's a strong suit in the career field that I want to go into, which is stage management. So it's very specific on dates and what needs to be done when and how much needs to be done when. So I think that'll be very helpful to us.
Yeah. So to wrap this up, we kind of made like a list of things that we wanted to talk about, and at the bottom we thought it was important to note that like we definitely want to keep an equal distribution of leadership, but we want to have checks and balances to keep each other on track, because we're all in the same boat. We're all gonna like have to struggle at certain times, and we want these roles that we assign to like really keep us together and on track, and that if we need help with anything, we have that help, so we can ask each other instead of the professor or whatever. Just like start it off. So for the group survival video, we all sat down and watched that. We didn't want to do it on camera because why would you want to watch us watch something? Don't know. But we went through and we all took notes and made sure that we all understood what was in the videos and the presentations and stuff. And we wanted to highlight a couple things. The first part of the presentation / videos was effective teamwork in student groups. And the main parts of that was clarifying expectations, getting to know each other, define tasks and process roles, stay connected, deal with conflict early, schedule meetings frequently, have a clear plan, and don't do things last minute. And that actually helped us form our group goals. And we thought like that list of things was really important to making our team effective and important and good.
Yeah, the only thing that we haven't necessarily planned for is dealing with conflict early,
Yeah.
but that's because we haven't foreseen any conflict,
Yeah.
so
I
hopefully
really,
we won't have to deal with that.
I don't think that's going to be a problem for us at
Yeah.
all, but if we do have that problem, we also thought that the problematic behavior types was really important in the video, because even though like you might not think you're one of the problematic behavior types, you might be, and it's like your group's job to make sure that that's not a problem. And also
feel comfortable calling you out.
yeah, but as well as like keeping yourself aware.
Yeah.
So we went through all the problematic behavior types and identified what they were in a way that we could approach a situation or like help the situation. So those are all available on our blog, but just an example would be like the complainer. If someone complains too much, which I really don't think we'll have a problem with, but it's possible, like I don't know, me. A solution to that would just to be set a negative language rule within your group. So be like, hey, if you complain, like you just like can't be at this meeting because we don't want to hear it, and like it's not helping us get any further in our work.
Yeah.
So that's a good example, but those were good videos.
Or another example is I was telling them earlier that I tend to be kind of a closet dictator, especially with like shared files between group members. Not in necessarily the worst way, like I don't go through and rewrite things for people, but I will kind of like add in commas and switch around words if it sounds awkward and stuff. But it's not usually a bad thing, but I think a way to kind of like make it a little bit less frustrating is just to ask permission first and say, hey guys, do you mind if I edit that sentence or something? So, which I can totally do.
I'm fine with that. I'm not perfect. I wish I was.
Nobody is.
No.
Most of that helps your role is the editing and writing.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely fits her role, which I
Yeah.
love.
We love that.
I do. Okay, I think that's it.
Is that our video?
Yeah, signing out, Magic Management Squad.
Magic Management Squad.
Yay.